This is one, I think, of the key questions we need to understand better in our culture. There is a great tendency in Philippine culture to look at leadership as almost a reward and perks. I mean, there's a tendency to identify leadership with the power and the perks that come from it. You can see this in the way leaders are introduced. They are usually introduced through a very long biodata, all their achievements. It projects a leader as fundamentally a person who has reached certain levels of excellence, but it's measured in terms of personal qualities or personal rewards. That's one aspect, and what is lost is, so what has this person contributed? That is not presented as much. The other question, the other thing that really comes up in Philippine leadership is a tendency for people to see a leader as basically also a source of benefits or power from them. And so if you are in power and I know you're my friend, I expect you to do whatever is needed for me. So those various aspects. One of the great struggles of my own leadership has been to first focus more on doing things, getting things done, rather than the perks part. That's been a struggle. But maybe the more difficult struggle has been to get people to understand that a leader is ultimately a steward of the institution and of the people as a whole, and of the values of the institution, that you are a servant in that sense of of the institution that you lead and the people that you lead. And the way you act has to be governed by the values and the long-term good of the institution, and of course beyond the institution, the larger country and the world into which it is set. That is not easy to do because people will tell you, but you have the power to do this. Of course, I face this all the time in terms of admission of students, and you can imagine the problem, because it's difficult enough to say no to somebody coming into college, but at least at that level they already have maybe shown what they can do. But in our grade school here, to say that we can't really accept your 5.5-year-old son, how do you really do that? It's quite difficult, and they'll tell you that, well, you have the power to do it. Technically, you do, and technically we do make some leeway. We do say, okay, we have a certain number of exceptions. Usually, the president, say for the grade school, is allowed 10 exceptions, 10 out of 500. No? But it's okay. We accept that. But you can't go. You cannot be totally arbitrary, because you tell them to go much beyond that. Ultimately, damages the values of the institution. It damages the decision-making powers of the people below you. You kind of break the parameters within which they work, and so that's difficult to do. It's the understanding of leadership as not personal power, but really a power given to you for the good of an institution. So that is still a work in progress in this country, and it is quite difficult to achieve. And it's one of the efforts that we're trying very, very much to pass on to our next generation, to understand leadership as given to one in order to serve, in order to enhance and to strengthen people and institutions.